guys. This is mapping the fretboard, how I look at the guitar. And this is an extraordinarily helpful system for me. And I knew the system for many years before I actually knew how to explain it. Somebody said to me while I was teaching at Herb David's Guitar Studio in the 90s, maybe it was the late 80s, are you teaching those caged chords? And I would just say, oh yeah, man, I'm teaching those caged chords. I knew what they were, but I didn't know that I could explain it in such a way. The way I look at the guitar is in basic shapes of major chords, major inversions that I can find in 5 different positions and completely covers the neck. Now, if we know what a major chord is, we know that it's only 3 notes, the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of the scale. When we play a chord, we're often repeating notes. So this is more of a chord than you actually need. This is what guitar players do, especially acoustic guitar players. And what we've got here is, you know, several fifths, several thirds, and several roots. So it's the root, third, and fifth, but we're playing a lot of them. Now, in the open position, some people call these cowboy chords, we have a variety of major chords. We have a C chord, an A chord, a G chord, an E chord, and a D chord. And those are the major forms that most people play in the open position. Now remember, they're big chords. These are intervallic clusters. They're not just 1, 3, 5. We have in the D, for instance, we could play 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. And that's 2 1s, 2 5s, and a 3. In the E, we have 3 E's, 2 B's, and a G sharp. So it's, what is it? 3 E's, 2 5s, and a third, which is the G sharp. But what's neat about these is they cover the entire guitar pretty much in that area, all these notes. So I've got every note in the key of C right there, and they spell a word: C-A-G-E-D, caged. Now here's the bar forms that these open chords give way to. You have the C form, the C form guitar shape, bar shape, I mean, is like that. So this would be a D. C, D, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and so on. And this is an A form bar chord, a G form bar chord, which I only play like this, because nobody wants to do this. Sounds good though, but then we got the G form bar chord, of course the D form, which no one plays except me, but I love the D form bar chord. See what I mean? And it really leads to really nice sounding things. So C form, A form, I think I skipped E, but I think we should all know E form. And the neat thing about them is they always ascend the neck in that order: C form, A form, G form, E form, and D form. I just played 5 C chords up the neck. C, and they're all connected in one way or another. In this case, it's connected with a common bass note. Now I keep that bass note and I play the next C. Now the next one's connected with this triad. So I go from this C to this shape, connected with a common bass note, and D, which is connected with a common bass note or 2 bass notes. Now I like the D power chord. I'm telling you what, that's sounds like Townsend to me when you hit that. I just think that's these are all great sounding chords, and they're all useful. If I did it in an A, the first chord would be an A-shaped A, a G-shaped A, an E-shaped A, a D-shaped A, and a C-shaped A. Okay, and that continues on. If I was going to do G, it'd be G form G, E form G, D form G, C form G, and A form G. And I'll continue on with E, and finally D. Now no matter what I'm doing, what I'm playing, I always relate it back to 2 things: the major scale and these major inversions. No matter how weird the chord I'm playing, I related those chords somehow in my mind to the caged chord. This one here, I'm thinking of an E shaped like a C. I know that seems like a stretch, but I know what these notes are, and I know what's going on, so I can alter them and figure out what this is. This I'm thinking about an E form A. Without going into too much theory, that's my flat 9, that's my 7, that's my 3rd, that's my 6th, and I relate them all to that chord. And when I'm playing individual licks and runs, if I have a shape like this, I'm basing it around that chord. If I wanted to change it to a minor, I already know where the 1, 3, and 5 is. Wow, I'm doing a run there, I'm thinking about that shaped chord. So everything that I do, I don't want to get too far ahead, but everything that I do, I somehow relate to these chords. So the important things to do is to practice them in every position. Now you'll find that people play with capos and they use these forms all the time. It has kind of destroyed my capo life, knowing how to do this stuff. Like somebody's, and they say to me, no, man, I got to do that in E. No problem. If I want to play something in a different position, if I know C is here, and I know these are all where they are, I should be able to play everything in a different position. Now they're harder in other positions. Take me long to figure it out. But that's the point. I can play capo licks in any position. So the way to practice this is take a 3-chord song, and you might as well pick one of the greatest songs of all time, like you ought to look up who wrote that. It's really interesting. And you should see who his brother is and see what his second hit was. It's just, I won't tell you. It's pretty interesting. So do your research. It's all about research. So play A, D, and E in that position, and then practice in this position. Well, actually, that's minor, but Wild Thing would be a better way to go. So now, rock and roll guitar player gonna be tempted to go up to this chord. But if you want to sound musical, the closest chord is that E, because it's got that leading tone. Here's in this position. And so take 3 chords and play them in 5 closed positions and practice. It could be anything. It could be a country song in G. In fact, that's how I kind of got good at this. I was playing in a country band that did a lot of slow tunes in Michigan, and I would just, you'll never get in trouble if you play a major chord in a country song. You might get in trouble if you play like a major 7. You might get in trouble if you play a major 9. So, but you'll never get in trouble if you play a major chord. So there, I know I'll live till I die. Well, there's a G, and I'd say to myself, where's my nearest C? There it is. Where's my nearest D in this position? And I had so long to think about it because the songs were so slow, and then I would go. So C, G, and D in this position. So practice a 3-chord song in 5 closed positions, and that would be the first way to really get used to it. But the next section, we need to talk about what I said earlier, the root 3rd and 5th of these chords. A major chord is the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of the major scale. It's basic stuff, but it's really important. So one of the things that I went out of my way to learn was where each one of those tones were. Where is my root? Where is my 3rd? Where is my 5th? Those are the vital notes of any successful run. usually, especially if playing country guitar, if you want to end up on the right note, it's usually the third, fifth of the root. So I was playing the third of F, now I'm going to go to the fifth of C. And I knew it was there because I know this chord is here. Then if I go to G, I know where my nearest G is, and I know where all the notes are in my G chord because I know this. So I played the notes of my G chord. All these are in the key of C. So what I recommend is to first learn each scale, each major scale that goes with these cage chords. So that's a C form chord with a C form scale. And these are plentifully available anywhere online if you want to learn them. But practice them over the cage chord. So here's my C form chord, or excuse me, A form C chord. And I'm going to play a scale over that. And I can keep going up the scale and I wind up in G form. It's a very, very nice movement actually from one position to the other. Now I'm in G form. I play a G form major, E form major. And the last one was a D form major. All in the key of C. Mapped my guitar out. Next thing you do is you want to know where the root, third, and fifth is by practicing your arpeggios. So nice ways of playing these arpeggios, some slick ways are like, everyone plays like that. And then this position, I actually never do that, but I know the notes are there. I do this a lot. The C form is stacked up in order. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. And the G form is also stacked in order. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. So the two stacks of notes are 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 3. Same stack of notes. And then 1, 5, 1, 3, 5. So this thing, and this thing are exactly the same. And these two are 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Those are the same. So the C form and the G form are the same order of notes. They're in order. And these things are power chords. We got the power chord in the bass, and we even have that on the D form. That's why, to me, it sounds like Alice Cooper. It sounds like Townsend to me. You know? And then if you dropped your D, now you've got a really big chord. But I don't play like that. So know your root, third, and fifth of the caged chords. Practice arpeggios and scales around the caged chords. And practice a 3-chord song around the caged chords. C to a G to an F. C to a G, back to C to an F to a C to a G to an F, and it sounds musical.